Okay, this is my fourth attempt to make a video about this, but hopefully this one is the last one, and I hope I say what I need to say. But it's kind of a repetition. But the reason why I want to make this video more than you know continuously try to make a video about this is because my memories are going to be changed, and I know when they're about to change memories. So this is also gonna help me kind of get back to like when it started, when the change of my memory started. So quick intro. I'm a target individual, been a target individual since 2014ish. I don't know exactly what around, but around 2014 or so. That was covertly. In 2019, it became very overt. Before that, it was already getting overt, but 2019 was like extremely overt. That's when I experienced the technology. So I would consider myself a TI, a target individual. What target individuals are people, subjects in the program where the government is really um, developing a technology where they need human subjects, and this is a weaponry type of program where uh, they keep improving this technology by utilizing humans in these disturbing ways, and they use this technology, extremely sophisticated and advanced technology, with this program that has unlimited funding, meaning that so much is spent on just one target individual that you don't even believe that's why it doesn't make sense. But once you understand that this is more of a R&D kind of program where the money is worth spending on one individual, because there's so much they can get out of one person for the improvement of this technology. And so I'm one of those target individuals that you're going to hear a lot about. Others have talked about them. Others have talked about their testimony. Mine, very similar. And so on August 19, 2019, these things happened to me where the technology was finally being implemented in a very noticeable way. What technology? I'm talking about the V2K, which I've talked about it before. This is the ability to somehow be able to hear an individual remotely, but that person can interact with you directly to your brain. They sound sometimes like they're very close, but the case is sometimes they're not as close as they sound like, right? It sounds like this next door neighbor is talking to me, but it could be somebody who's a few floors above me, or a building across me. But with that being said, there's also neighbors involved in it, close neighbors, right? And so even roommates can be involved, and it's nasty. And so these people are trying to break you down into accepting manipulations that is implemented using this synthetic telepathy weaponry. They also have, and the big thing here for me is the way they've been rewiring my brain. The brain rewiring is the foulest, the most disgusting, disturbing. This they've been utilizing the manipulation of my brain to break me down, which is what they do. They are trying to break the ego and reconstruct the ego in different ways. They depattern you and then repattern you in different ways, right? They try to break you down, using these disturbing ways, and rebuild you in a different way. So, and these ways are, let me just say that, and I've said it many times, very pedophilia centric. They force you to look at children in this sexual stimulation, with sexual stimulations, and perceive children in a sexual way. Even dreams are manipulated to condition you. Thoughts are non-stop manipulated in the pedophilia ways to train your brain to look at kids in sexual ways. That's what they do. The reason why I think is because they want the target, the TI, to end up killing themselves, and also it breaks the ego. Your self-image breaks down. You start looking at yourself different if you don't know better. But once you know everything, once you find strength in yourself, you can understand that this is what they do to me. I should not look at myself this way, because these people are responsible for me to think in these disgusting ways, to dream in these disgusting ways, and to react in these disgusting ways. And you become stronger and stronger in that. Even though nothing changes, you understand that. And me making videos and have helped a lot, have helped me stay strong and understanding the reality of things, even though reality is being manipulated by this trash. And perps are the people, for me, my perps are the people that are around me, my ecosystem. Those are contracted people to supposed to disorient you and try to make you accept these things that are falsified. They do their best to try to be like a subscriptive of these things. Some of my perps here have been warning me that they're gonna frame me, right, in different fashion. One have said they're gonna implant child porn on my computers. Some others have said they're gonna put drug in my apartments. Some others are saying that there's a child here that's saying that she's gonna say I've raped her or I've done something to her or I've been doing some nastiness like that, right? These are the things they said, and also to warn, to disorient me. They're nasty low life. And when they do these pedophilia things, they want you to accept these things. It's you. We just mapped it. It's you. It's so disgusting. One thing I've talked about a lot is this person that in 2014 I followed this person. Her name is Ocean. Right, I'm gonna call her that. This Ocean person in 2014. I'm in my mid 20s, like I just turned 27, and I see this person, and if you look at her, you give her like a good 23, 20, like early 20s, kind of like she looks very much way older than her age, way older, and it's crazy to see to like now looking at it. I was like, looking at the picture, I was like, oh my gosh, that's not it. So I followed her in 2014, and in 2020 they're like, no, you are, remember, like, you see that person you follow her, she was not an adult yet when you follow her the first time. I'm like, I look at her as who I follow, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like she was not. I look at the age. It's like she was like, oh my gosh, she was not an adult yet, but she looked way older than her age, way older, way older. I mean, like, I'm not gonna show her picture because it's not. I don't want to bring her into this thing, but if you look at this person, it's, you will never believe that this is an adult, right? And that was in 2020. And it's funny now today what they try to do is like they try to go in my memories and try to find who they can pretend that was an underage, because that person is like, see that, so they try to make me imagine like some 27-year-old that sounds like, you see her, she's underage, and try to make me believe these things to create this. So that's how they mess with me now. Because that, looking at this person, believing that this person is underage is crazy, but she was. It's one of those people who way older looking than the age. And so ever since then, when they do the stimulations, when they do the pedophilia things to me, to the older kids, which is much easier than the babies, they're like, no, in 2014 you follow this person, so this is proof that this is naturally happening to you. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, that's proof that in 2014 I followed somebody who looked like an adult, or looked like a young adult, like, and I was a young adult, even though I was not a very young adult. I was like an older young adult. Look at her, she looked like an adult, that's why I follow her. You are making me feel stimulation toward kids of all ages, the babies. And even today, when I look at somebody who's 22, and that's why they can mess with me, when I look at a 22-year-old or 23-year-old my age, because I'm in my 30s, they look like kids to me, because I'm so much older than them, that even though they're adults, when I look at this 20-something, it just makes me feel like they're like, and they try to mess with me. They feel like, they look like, to me, they're kids. Even though they're not, they're adults. And so they're like, no, that's proof. You see, you follow this person. I was like, no, I did not. Sorry, I followed this person, but because she looked like she was an adult. I have a picture of that person when I follow her. I'm not going to put it here. And so there's no way by looking at her you could guess her age. She looked way older than her age, way older. It's crazy. But there's a lot of people like that. There's men who look older than their age. There's women looking older than there's and there's kids that look way older. There's girls that look like older than their age. There's boys that look older than their age, and that's that. See how they tried to mess with me? They were trying to create a battle there. But you see, look at her. Look at this person. You see that? Can you imagine that person? And you look at her, you give her 20s easily, if you didn't know anything about her, which was the case. I never even interacted with this person, never talked to her. I followed her throughout the years, see her traveling, seeing her dating people, seeing I truly lived through her. She had a great, interesting life, right? Typical things in social media. You start following somebody, you start becoming like invested in that person, right? Meaning that you go through where when she travels, you travel with that person. When she's dating with somebody, go through her dating life. Like it's just social media as as it is. And so it was very entertaining profile. I never interacted with her. She had a great life. She's traveling the world. A very interesting life, I would say, for somebody to watch, right? She does all these trips all around the world, Africa. She's racing cars. It's like very entertaining. But they like these pedophilia things they make me experience today now. They try to make me be like, no, see, that's proof. Because in 2014, you followed this person who looked like an adult but wasn't an adult. You understand? And right now, what happened today? Because they were trying to mess with me. I never been on her like Facebook before. I've never been on the Facebook. I was on the Instagram and Snapchat before today. And right now, they were trying to mess with me with this specific picture because I remember because there's one picture when they were try to make me like when they're bringing back this person. I ended up going and that's how I found out like when I followed her this person was this person. So in 2020 I scrolled down and see her pictures of like when I followed her. I was like, I can't believe this person was it was not an adult there. She looked like an adult. But those pictures are no longer on Instagrams. She like stopped from when she was like older, right? So I'm like, okay. They make me think, go on the Facebook. She has a Facebook. I go on the Facebook. I see those pictures. I was like, okay, you see that? Matter of fact, let me take a screenshot. I might make a blur video of it. But in her Facebook, there's a little bit more of pictures. She has pictures of different random stuff. She had a picture of like Bob Marley. She has pictures and she also has pictures of like university she was admitted to or something like that. And it shows the date where she was admitted. And for me, they're trying to make me think. It's like, you see? Why didn't you know? Look at that. It's like, because that was not on her Instagram. It was not on the Snapchat. This is something she put on her Facebook. And they try to make me imagine seeing this picture of like university acceptance things in her Instagram. They truly try to make me imagine that. Forcing me to have different like ways of imagining it in my memories when she didn't put that. You understand? On your Facebook, it's not gonna be the same as your Instagram. You put random stuff on your Facebook. Your Instagram is really just pictures of you or your friends. And they try to make me imagine that, creating a false memory so they can be like, oh no, but you see, you should have known she was still a high schooler. Look, and creating this false memory about this thing, about her admission, to create this false reality. They live off a fantasy. They do these things where they create a reality that's falsified. And because today is my first time going on Facebook, they try to make me imagine that was that. You saw that? I was like, no, of course I didn't see that. It was not. That's not something. And usually that's not what you see on Instagram. That's the Facebook stuff. Well, I mean, you can do whatever you want on Instagram. Let me just say, but this is not something she put on her Instagram. That's not something that I remember. The picture that I'm seeing there's like, but I remember other pictures that's not even there. And I'm like, do you see that? That's some Facebook pictures. They try to, like, they can rewire your memory to create a new version. They can implant information that wasn't there and bring it back as if there was the memory. That's why I record things too, because I know they falsify memories. And this is going to be falsified for the sole purpose to make me think that there was a way that I could have known that this person was not an adult. Because based on her physical appearance, you could not tell. And so now they make me imagine this random picture being there in her Instagram or something like that. Because I was not on her Snap, I was not on her Facebook. Today was my first time being on her Facebook. And I scroll all the way back to whatever year to see this. And so this thing now, this picture of like the admission is being implanted in my memories to be felt like I've seen it in her Instagram, so they can be like, oh, you see, that's proof. You could have known based on this. I was like, no, that's what you're making me imagine. That was not there. I'm telling you, I remember her, this picture of her with some boyfriend. I remember all these things. It looked like they were in the parking lot, so they were trying to mess with me with this, which is not, like, all these things. That's no longer, like, yeah, her with, when she was dating this person, when she was like, all these things. But this thing was not there. And they tried to really recreate a new memory. To create this fantasy. Reality is something they refuse. They cannot, because their job, their assignment is to remove reality, because they're trying to paint me into something I'm not. The reason why I'm recording is that when you become a target individual, they are trying to erase you and turn you into somebody you're not. And they do all kind of weird things to you to manipulate you to accept these things. Right now, what they're doing is like they're making me imagine a picture of her when she was like in a parking lot, and giving me sensation that they make me have today. But either way, it's just like just adding that to the thing. But this person looked like she was an adult in the first place. So I'm like, this person, if you looked at her, there's no way you can think she's not an adult. But they're adding things to my memories to create a false reality. So for me, when I make videos, is to put things in perspective. Because today, if I look at a child, they're gonna give me stimulations. And a lot of those kids are like actually kids that we can tell a mile away as a child. And to me, because I'm much older than when I was following this person, not much older, I'm in my 30s, mid-30s. Even a 20-some-year-old sometimes make me think this person is a child. I can look at 23, 24-year-old, I'm like, oh my gosh, that person look like a child. Even 28, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel comfortable here. So they're doing their best to try to break you down. And as I was speaking about this, they were whispering, it's gonna hurt you, because they tell me I'm gonna be tortured. It's all meant to break you down. So before you hurt, before I suffocate or tortured, like, I will say what needs to be said. And for these people who wanted to escape in this fantasy, these people who sold their soul to entities who actually have problem with pedophilia. We're talking about people who work for CIA and DOD and those entities, where they're contracted by those entities, and those entities have problem with pedophilia. Well, they have to manipulate me, which is what they do to others. But on top of that, they have to try to bring up, 2014, you follow this person who looked like an adult. And I never interacted with that person. No, hello, no nothing. Just following somebody who looked like an adult, which they try to make me imagine how would have. So I gotta be strong. And today, when I look at a child, from the babies to the older kids, they make me have stimulations. And said, no, we match it because you follow somebody in 2014 that looked like an adult. And you looked at her in this, I was like, what? So you mean the person who looked like she's an adult woman, even though she wasn't, she looked like one, I followed her and saw her like this because she looked like an adult. And today you make me look at kids in these sexual ways, and sometimes forcing me to perceive them like they're adults when they're not adults, just because they want me to look at them in a sexual way. It's nasty. You gotta be strong and understand that they've been manipulating me in these disgusting ways. One last thing before I finish this video. Another thing they've been doing, and this is what initiated the whole thing. When they made me look, when they started like bringing this person up, I went to her Instagram, and I remember this one picture of her, and in that picture she's in the parking lot, and she's it's about the time I follow her, so 2014ish, and I'm looking at, now they're giving me a memory of that and give me stimulations, so they can be like, oh, we match it to how you look at kids today. They're matching based on my perceptions, of in 2020 when I was being manipulated, but my memories are being falsified to add stimulations. But this person is the person who looked like she was an adult when she was not an adult, and they're castrated. It's so pathetic. But that's the life they live. I've been validated in so many ways, and I'm thankful that I don't have to live life in the way these people have to live. I'd rather get my penis cut up in pieces, like they'll say, than having to live this fantasy. They force men and women to feel stimulation toward children. And then I hear talk about me following somebody in 2014 who looked like an adult and now falsifying memories to give me the same weird sensations they make me have when they do this pedophilia type of torture toward kids. And manipulating my memories. And manipulating my memories of the perception I had while I was under these V2K manipulations. It's crazy. But that's how it goes. To all my target individuals, do not subscribe. Know that justice will be done for the things they do.